up, YouTube? It's your boy Darkel coming to you from the rig with another quick video, man. So, well, this one ain't gonna be too quick, but we're gonna get into talking about purchasing a used truck to go to work. Alright? So that's what it is, man. I'm gonna get into my experience, what I went through, and hopefully this video will help you guys avoid some of the mistakes that I made to save you time and money and get you rolling, man. So let's get into it, man. Alright, man. So back in 2019, March, I jackknifed my truck. I started out owner operator leasing trucks with Snyder Finance, which are brand new trucks. You know, they barely really give you problems, but they do break down. Don't get it twisted. Just because you got a new truck don't mean you ain't gonna break down. But when they break down, they got warranties and stuff like that. Blah, blah. Okay, that's great. So anyway, when I jackknifed last year, I turned in the lease. I was done with that. And I had a little money saved up, so I went and got a loan to complete it. And I'm gonna be very transparent in this video. So I had $24K total to go buy a truck. You know, I wasn't patient. I was desperate. You know, bills don't stop for nobody. I got a family. I got to keep paying those bills. I got to keep a roof over the head, food on the table. So I rushed into things. That was another mistake, man. Before we get into it, let me tell you 5 things that I'm going to cover in this video. So, number 1, know what you want. Know the truck that you want to buy. Like, I know everybody got trucks they look and they wish they had, like the wish list. Like, for me, I've always... The Kenworth W900L is that's the top dog. That's to me the king of the road. Some people prefer the Pete's. I'm a Kenworth guy. I like the Kenworth W900 since I got my license. I always like those trucks. Freightliner Classics, another one. I wouldn't mind having a Freightliner Classic. But the truck that I was going to buy was a Century because I only had 24K. So I know that a Kenworth W900L was out of the question because those things, they cost money. It was either going to be a Classic or a Century, but I already knew I was going with a Century. My uncle has 2 of them. They're reliable. I call them Transformer Autobots because those things, they just go and go and go. They're money makers, all right? So I was already convinced. I already knew what I wanted. That's 1, know what you want. 2, know a local diesel mechanic that you trust. Someone that's from the family or someone that you trust because that dude is going to become your best friend. 3, know what to look for when you go buy an old truck. You know what to look for. As far as coolant, belts, blow-by, you know, leaks, smells, certain things, you know, exhaust, all that stuff. 4, if possible, take the mechanic with you. Or at least someone that had previous experience purchasing a used truck or older truck to guide you. And 5, which I think is the most important thing, is money. In like my case, I had 24 grand. I should have bought a truck that was 14 grand. The most 15 grand. I should have kept $9,000 to $10,000 in the bank because unless you're a psychic, you're gonna have breakdowns. Unless you're a psychic and you know what that truck's gonna do, when it's gonna do it, then fine. Go put all your money down. And because see, I want to have the title in my hand. The truck was for 19, all right. But remember, there was like 19 and some change. There's always dealer taxes, fees, and all that bullshit. So I ended up paying like 21 and change out the door. But then you gotta remember, you gotta get bobtail insurance, you gotta get all that crap. So leaving money aside, a cushion, is very, very important, and I'll get into that. Alright, so those are 5 things that I think are super important. So I went ahead and I already knew what I wanted. I bought the 05 Century, I found it. I went and bought it. I was looking for a Century with a Detroit engine, and I wanted a Detroit 60 series engine. That's the engine I wanted. That's just the one I wanted in my truck. I know people that had them. Those are great little engines. So I found it. I found an 05 Century, which is the one you saw in the beginning of the video, the yellow one, old yeller. Anyway, I bought this truck. I went on my own. I was rushing. I turned it on. I just looked around. You know, I just took a glance at the reservoir, the coolant reservoir. I saw that it was at level. I didn't bother to open it and look at it. I checked the oil. Obviously, it's in a dealer. They had changed the oil because they know that's one of the first things that people come and do. So the oil was good. You know, I looked at the belts. The belts looked okay. The rubber was okay. You know, I was looking for a truck ready to roll. It cranked right up. AC was working. The truck was good. I drove it, shifting smoothly. A 10-speed Ian Fuller. That's another thing I want. An Ian Fuller transmission is the one that I go with, either 10 or the 13. This one had a 10-speed. Remember, this is my first truck. So whatever, I drove it. I liked it. I wanted it. I needed the truck to start working. So I bought it, and that, you know, I did what I did. I made my purchase. Now, the truck gave me 2 weeks without no problems. But you better believe it. 2 weeks later, I had a breakdown on the side of the road in North Carolina. And remember, after insurance and all that crap, and I had put fuel in it, and then I had little things I did to it, I was basically at about $1,000 left in my bank. So now I'm broke down in North Carolina on the side of the road, and I don't got money to fix it because it broke down for the air valves. And there's really no way for me to know if those things, there's really no way to check those things. I mean, I don't know if there is. I'm not a mechanic, but how do you know that your air valves can go bad? So one of my air valves went bad, and the TA ended up changing all 3 of them out because they started with the small one in front of the fifth wheel. It wasn't that. Then they went to they checked the one right here behind the dashboard. It wasn't that one. For the release things, the brake release things here, the knobs. It wasn't that one. And then they finally checked the main one, which is the combination air valve, and that was the corporate right there. They did ask me if they wanted me to put back the old, and I was like, you know what, forget it. You already changed the old ones, so leave them there. At least I know they're new. So that was that. But in the process of doing that, I noticed that there was a leak coming from the oil cooler housing. It was a drip, drip, drip. And I'm like, oh my God. And the TA takes like, yep, that's a tough job. It's gonna cost a lot of money. It's just your gasket. Bad mechanic. I mean, he diagnosed it without even knowing what really was wrong. He saw it leaking. He assumed that it was the gasket, which it was. But what caused that gasket to go? You know what I'm saying? Turns out that truck was being ran with water. But when I saw it leaking, I saw it clear. I'm like, what the fuck? That's when I finally got up and opened the oil cooler reservoir because it was at level. And to my surprise, there was water in there. Bro, the dude that had this truck, I'm from Florida. I'm a Florida guy. So this truck was being ran locally in Florida. So the guy was running with water. I didn't even know. And you could see like little things in the water. And when I saw that, I was like, what the mechanic was like, oh shit. After he had did all, when he flushed it and everything, I saw some oil in the water. I'm like, yo, and the guy was like, well, this truck probably had a bad oil cooler because if the oil cooler was bad, it would be full of oil. And he might have been right. But anyway, we ended up, I took his word for it. He flushed it. He put coolant in it. They got it fixed. This bill, I ended up changing a couple of tires since I was already there. I had to take another loan out. Now I'm $5,000 in. I only had $1,000, so I'm $4,000 in debt now. And I wasn't prepared. So that's what I'm saying, man. When you're gonna, and once I got that fixed, old Yeller started riding, and he's made me triple the money I spent on him already. He's a money maker. I got him running local right now. I actually got 2 trucks now. I'm driving in my other truck, which that's gonna be another video, which is gonna be about buying multiple trucks. Should you do it or should you not? So that's gonna be another video. But old Yeller is running strong right now. I got him working local again. But it turned out the oil cooler was bad. I ended up doing that as well later on. But like I said, if you leave that $10,000 aside and are a little bit more patient, when you buy a used truck, you go straight to a dealer, you know what I'm saying, and you have them inspect that truck before you put it on the road. Because had I gone to a mechanic, I probably would have saved $2,000. You know what I'm saying? So instead of having to spend $5,000, I probably would have ended up spending just like $3,000 or some shit like that. And plus, that guy would have caught the oil cooler situation as well at the same time. So have a good mechanic. Don't spend all your money when you go purchase. Leave a cushion. Take someone with you that has experience buying previous trucks. Know a mechanic and know what you want, man. These are things that are important, man. I hope this video is helpful. If you guys are planning on buying a used truck, don't get discouraged. Listen, used trucks are money makers. You're gonna own the truck. You're gonna start making money, but you gotta have that money aside to fix the truck. But if you're looking into getting a used truck, go ahead and do it. Don't be scared. Just follow those things, man. Leave at least $10,000 to get that shit ready for the road, and it's gonna make you good money because old Yeller has made me a lot of money right now. So that's what it is, man. All right, guys, your boy Darkel right here, coming to you from the rig. Keep the rubber down and be safe out there. Peace.